Good morning and happy Saturday. I know it's been a while, right? Welcome back to another week of Locs Talk. This week, I'm going to talk about what I said I was going to talk about the last time we met. Washing your locks. Now today I'm coming to you. My hair it's been maybe 2.5 months since my last retwist, which is why you have all of this excess fuzz and frizz and stuff. But let's get into this week's Locs Talk. We're going to talk about how to properly wash your locks. Bye. Welcome. Come on in, have a seat, get comfortable, and let's have a chat, okay? We're going to keep it short and sweet. Like I said, I'm going to stick to one topic at a time from now on. So this week we're going to talk about shampooing your hair. Now, oftentimes I hear from clients or new potential clients that are changing from one loctician and trying to select a new one. During their consultation, they will tell me when they started their locks, the loctician told them not to wash their hair for a long time. And no, you should wash your hair. You really should. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? So, first things first. Washing your hair with locks is just as important as washing your hair if you didn't have locks. Now, I'm specifically talking about loose, natural hair. So, if you have low curl texture, low curl pattern, straighter, more European type hair, this talk ain't for you, baby. So don't come in here trying to argue, talking about, oh, that's disgusting, I would never. It's not about you. I'm going to keep it real with you. This is for loose, natural hair. Specifically type 3 and up. For some type 2s, depending on the curl texture and curl pattern, yeah, them too. But specifically for thicker hair, the example that people tend to like to use when it comes to loose natural hair is 4C. We ain't all 4C, baby. Okay. But let's get into why it's important. Now, typically what I recommend, and this is just my recommendation, is there's no rule of thumb to how often or how not often to wash your hair. But typically what I recommend is a minimum of every 2 weeks. And definitely a maximum no more than 4 weeks or a month between washes. Now you can do it less than 2 weeks, but I highly do not recommend going above 4 weeks unless you just don't go nowhere and live under a rock and you're literally a hobbit in your house. You don't get outside. There's really no space for much to happen to your scalp, but still it's a risk. So the reason why I say minimum every 2 weeks is because you don't want to wash away your natural oils that your scalp produces for your hair, because that strips away your hair and it takes away a protective barrier and it takes away some of the nutrients, weakening your hair and may cause breakage of your hair. So that's why I say that minimum 2 weeks. Sometimes people feel like they have to do it more often because they maybe work out and sweat and things like that. But again, if you're taking care of your scalp and cleaning it thoroughly all the time and understand the concept of why sweat may cause odor, then you wouldn't have to really wash your hair as often. Sweat causes odor when bacteria is mixed with it. So if there's a pattern of consistency of cleaning and making sure your scalp is intact without having to fully wash all of your hair, you'll be okay. Okay. Furthermore, the reason why I said don't go further than 4 weeks is because without washing your scalp, I don't want to keep saying hair, but your scalp in particular, you run the risk of seborrheic dermatitis buildups. You run the risk of other dermatitis or skin allergens and stuff building up. You run the risk of folliculitis, which is a bacterial infection in the hair follicles because bacteria is just burrowing and getting stuck in there. So you want to wash your hair at a maximum every 4 weeks, specifically if you have locks. Okay. Okay, so before I get into how to properly wash your hair, I'm going to first talk about the best type of shampoo and conditioner that you should use when washing your locks. We're not talking about hair, we're just talking about your locks this week, okay? And I just washed my hair last night. You know, my grays is really growing in there nicely. I love this. This is one of my favorite ones. See how much of my gray grew in? Oh my God, I love it. So let's revert back and talk about again what shampoos is really good to use when you are washing your hair. Now, it's always good to use a shampoo that's specifically formulated to help your locks. My favorite shampoo currently is the shampoo line from Peculiar Roots. This happens to be one of several that is available with Peculiar Roots, but this one is the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner in the hair. This is Jamaican black castor oil shampoo and conditioner. It smells like a summer day on vacation. That's why I like how it smells. And you know, it's summertime, so you know, I'm trying to stick up with the theme. So okay, the texture of this is not very thick, as you saw how, right? See how? And it's translucent. You can see right through it, so you know there's no dyes or anything inside of it. And it's really good. It's sulfate free. It doesn't have any parabens, no phthalates, you know, or silicone or anything in it. And it's really good, and it leaves my hair feeling really light and fluffy and soft. The 2-in-1 specifically is good for all locks, whether you are starter locks or mature locks. This works fine on the hair. Now, if you have starter locks and you want to condition your hair, then I recommend the 2-in-1 conditioner and shampoo. Don't separately condition your hair, because conditioner does change the texture of your hair during your starter lock phase, relaxing your curl pattern a bit too much, so it delays the process of your hair locking. So you absolutely do not want to condition your hair during the starter phases, but it is definitely okay. One of my clients graciously volunteered themselves to do the experiment to see what this would do and if it would delay locking their hair. And they do not have what I call pre-fixed locking hair. They don't have 4C hair. Their hair was a softer texture, so that made it even easier for me to decipher whether or not it was going to delay the process. Their hair was locked within a 6-month period, which is what's expected of all hair types when we are locking hair. But you know, sometimes it depends. It does take longer, sometimes shorter time. It depends on the client and the individual. Okay, I just told you about liquid shampoo. Now again, there's a number of different shampoos that is used with this particular brand, Peculiar Roots. The Jamaican black castor oil 2-in-1. Then there is the rose and hibiscus flower shampoo, which is best for if you have color treated hair. Because some people, when I started my locks, I was dyeing my hair, so I still had to make sure I maintained my hair based on coloring my hair and keeping up the moisture. And the rose and hibiscus shampoo and conditioner are great for that. Now, in the starter phases, I definitely would not recommend using that conditioner, because that conditioner leaves your hair feeling really silky and soft. And my hair already in its texture, the way it was before I locked my hair, whew, No, it wasn't going to work because I was already struggling to get my hair to lock because my hair texture, my natural hair texture is very soft. It has changed over the past 7.5 years, of course, but when I first started my locks, trust me, baby, that conditioner is liquid silk in a bottle. You don't want to mess with that while you're in your starter phase trying to get your hair to lock. Now, once you hit maturity and you want your locks to stay nice and soft and fluffy and silky and beautiful, it's absolutely, yeah. But the shampoo is really the most important. And I want to stick to talking about shampoo overall for color treated hair, whether you are starter or mature. The conditioner, once your hair is fully locked, hey, knock yourself out, okay? Then the final one that I have here on the table, because I had bought a couple of them out and put them on the table, the shampoo bars. This is one of many that I have from Peculiar Roots. This one is the Seaweed Repair Shampoo Bar. I love this one, right? It smells delicious. It really leaves my hair nice and tingly. Now, these are 2 pieces of, leftover that I kind of just put together because I still use it. Usually, what happens with this is also it doesn't have sulfate or anything like that in it. So understand something. Shampoo that doesn't have sulfate in it is not going to have massive suds. It will suds, but it's not going to be like that white, thick, cloudy suds. And please understand when I say this, suds does not equate to cleanliness. It doesn't. It doesn't take suds to make sure your hair is clean. It takes a really great shampoo that's going to lift and break up and kill any bacteria that might be inside of your hair. So that's the whole goal of washing your hair. And suds ain't gonna do that, okay? Dirt sticks to suds and then it just goes right back in your hair. You don't need a whole lot of white, thick, cloudy suds in your hair to clean it, okay? All right. First and foremost, water. Water. I know you're like, what? Water? Reason why I said first and foremost, water. There's a water type. So if you have hard water, it can change the whole dynamic of washing your hair because hard water causes the hair to be dry, feel dry and brittle and somewhat dehydrated because the mineral mixture in hard water just, it ain't doing it for your hair. So I use a water filter on my faucet and in my shower. I have a filtered shower head also, so it softens the texture of the water and it keeps my hair nice and soft. So that's very important. Also, if I wash my hair in the kitchen, I use this water hose that I connect to my kitchen faucet, and then I wash my hair because it provides like a rain method for the water to run through my locks. I always recommend that over one stream of water coming out of the faucet because it helps spread it out, and it just runs through the hair much easier and evenly when rinsing your hair out. So I definitely recommend using a hose attachment if you're using your kitchen sink or your shower. They also have to be careful in the shower, especially if you have longer locks like I do. Make sure you wash your back thoroughly before you wash your hair, because if you have like loose dead skin and things on your back while you're washing your hair and you just in the shower, you just all that is getting caught in your locks, on the underside of your locks. I've had clients come to me like, I don't understand why my bottom locks in the back are so dirty and got buildup in it. It's because they're rubbing that dead skin and oil and dirt that's on your back that you didn't wash off before you washed your hair. So make sure before you wash your hair in the shower, do your shower first. Take care of that first. And make sure your back is thoroughly clean, especially if your hair is hanging down on your back. Because Your wet locks is acting like exfoliant against your skin on your back. So it's lifting up any excess dirt and oil and dead skin that you may not have cleaned off before you washed your hair. And now it's caught in your locks. That's why a lot of people get that going on under there. So be careful on that part, okay? Let's get into the steps of properly washing your hair. Before you get started, you're going to thoroughly wet and saturate your hair with water, right? Once you've done that, your first shampoo, it's not going to suds up a lot because of the oil and dirt that's already in your hair. So with the Peculiar Roots shampoo, I do 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And I put it throughout spread it on my hands and I spread it throughout my scalp. And you're just going to concentrate and make sure when you're doing, you're not doing this. You're doing this. So you're using the ball tips of your fingers to really massage your scalp, like so, to really work it in there. That's going to help loosen up anything that's on your scalp. You don't need to do this. A lot of times people do that because their scalp is itching, not because it's dirty. Okay? Your scalp is like a peach and it bruises very easily. If you take a peach and you scratch it as hard as you scratching your scalp, and you look at that peach and see how bruised it is and how the little hairs on it starts to lift and remove, you're doing that same damage to your scalp. Don't scratch your scalp like that when you're washing your hair. A good massage works best, okay? With the tips of your fingers. As you see, I keep my nails short. I cut them all the time so that my nails don't nick. And not only that, again, I don't care how much you wash your hands, unless you are washing your hands the way a surgeon does, there's bacteria that lives on your fingernails that you put it into your skin and in your scalp. Don't scratch your scalp, okay? So you're using 4 pumps of this to do your first wash. And you're just going to keep massaging your hair for, I like to do it for 3 to 5 minutes and then thoroughly rinse my hair. And also if I'm going to use the shampoo bar, right, after you do a thorough saturation of water, you're going to just keep this in your hand and just literally, separate your hair, because we're starting at the scalp. A lot of times people concentrate too much down here. The whole purpose of washing your hair is to get to the scalp first. Okay, so we're focusing on the scalp. Even if you don't cover this part yet for the first wash, the main thing you want to consider is your scalp. So we got scalp, and then the next one is going to extend down. Okay, so after you've massaged your hair for 3 to 5 minutes for the first shampoo, you're going to thoroughly, when I say thoroughly, I mean thoroughly. So you're rinsing, and you're squeezing as you're rinsing your hair, so you see no more suds in your hair. Then you're going to repeat your shampoo process again. 4 pumps. Okay. You're going to put it in your hair, a couple of more here and there, a couple of less if necessary, depending on the length of your hair. For me, I can get away with 4 pumps and give or take 2 more, just to make sure I get full coverage. And as you're massaging it, your suds is going to get bigger. And as it's getting bigger, now you can use your hand to work it further down the lock. So by the time you do that, you're going to I cover like down here when I do it on the first on the second shampoo. I do 3 cycles when I wash my hair. Okay, so I'm going to, again, anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, I'm massaging my hair and I'm working it down and I'm working it down. And then when I'm on this parts of my hair, I'm literally doing this. Nothing crazy, and raking my fingers through my hair as well. After 3 to 5 minutes, thoroughly rinse it out. For my third cycle, again, now I'm going to put 4 pumps and I'm going to focus on the ends of my hair. So basically, I'll put all of my hair together like this. And then I'll rake my fingers down here. Then I'll take a couple of more. All I need is 2 now because my hair started clean up here. So it's going to suds up very easily. And I put it up there. And now my whole head is covered in it. And I just massage again, working my way down my hair, doing like this. Then I get all the way to the bottom of my hair, grab all of it together, and that helps break up anything. And most of the time there's really nothing there because my hair doesn't get dirty like that, because I wash it regularly. And then when we do a thorough rinse, when I say a thorough rinse, again, make sure that there is clear water. So rinse, squeeze. Your hair's like a sponge. Think about cleaning a sponge. You can't just run water in it and it's going to be finished, right? So, yeah. Okay, so now when it comes to locks, I thoroughly recommend 3 wash cycles. For one, I consider the first wash cycle a pre-wash. I don't consider that like a washing cycle. I call that a pre-wash. It's almost like when you do your laundry. That first cycle is a soak, right? So that's what that first one is. That's why it doesn't suds up enough. It's there to break up anything that we need to wash out of our hair. So the next 2 is the actual washing mechanism. Okay. So again, when you're washing your hair, the focus is generally on the scalp and you work your way down the shaft of your hair. You do not want to go overboard with putting too much soap in your hair, because when there's a big, massive buildup of suds in your hair, any dirt and oil that might be in your hair will adhere to the suds. And as you're rinsing it out, you might rinse the suds out of your hair, but the dirt and oil that was stuck to the suds might lay back down on your hair in the process. And now you still have it in your hair. And you wonder, how am I getting built up and I wash my hair regularly? Because you're putting too much suds in it. You got to chill with it. You gotta chill with the suds. You gotta chill with it. It don't have to be crazy suds. Sometimes people go overboard with washing their hair. We are not animals rolling around in the mud. It's no necessity in going overboard with washing your hair and having massive mounds of suds in your hair. It's not necessary. Now, after washing your hair, for me, especially when I use a 2-in-1 conditioner shampoo, I'm done after the 3 cycles of washing my hair. However, there are individuals that have a more thicker and intense texture of hair, so they want to make it more soft. And this is specifically for people whose hair is already fully locked. They want to do a conditioning. Now, it's important to make sure also with the conditioner that you're using a conditioner that is not just designed for natural hair. And if you do, you need to dilute it. Like, you have to thin it out with water before using it on your locks, because if you don't, it will burrow down and get stuck and stay inside of your locks. That you don't want. Okay. So during the conditioning of your locks, it's okay, but make sure that the density of the conditioner is not thick, because it will get stuck in your hair, and we don't need that either. Be careful with the type of conditioner that you use also, because a lot of conditioners have silicone in it, and silicone causes massive buildup. So be careful, read the label, make sure there's not silicone inside of it. Now, like I said, Peculiar Roots does have 2 great conditioners. There's the black charcoal conditioner, and then there is the hibiscus and rose liquid silk in the bottle hair conditioner, which I love. And then there's a monthly conditioner that you also can do. It's a hair oil mask, the Moroccan hair oil mask. I use that on my hair maybe once every couple of months, not really once monthly. I don't need it that often, but every couple of months. And when I apply it, because it is thick in texture, I use an application brush just for it to be a thin layer of it on my hair. And I put it on as a pre-poo, so to speak. So I'll rinse my hair with water, then I'll put the conditioner on, and I'll leave it on there for like 15 to 20 minutes. Then I'll rinse it out, and then I'll wash my hair as usual with my 2-in-1. You know, once I smelled this, I bought a bunch of bottles of this. So this is mine. I'm kidding. I do share it every now and then. Now also, just like there is a a shampoo bar, Peculiar Roots also carries a conditioning bar. This one is the chamomile one, which is probably one of my favorite ones. As you see, it's very not translucent, but got a cloudiness to it. And again, you just while your hair. Now I like to use this while my hair is under the ring of my shower head, and I do that. I particularly use this only when I'm in the shower, not when I'm washing my hair at the sink over there, because this is a two-hand thing. So yeah, but it smells good. I love how it smells. You put it in your hair, leave it in a couple of minutes, and rinse it out thoroughly. Again, make sure that water is clear. After you've rinsed your hair out thoroughly, let's see what we do. Okay, so now we have washed our hair and conditioned our hair. And now we get to the last part with making sure we dry our hair properly. So after you've done it, you need two things. After you've thoroughly rinsed your hair, let it hang. Let gravity do its job. The water's going to run down through your hair. And I don't mean you need to stand there for 10 minutes. You ain't got to do all that. It only takes a minute or so for it to really run down. Never wring your hair. Never wring your hair. That causes tension and pulling and stuff, and can cause your hair to break. You don't want to do that. I like to take little sections and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. That gets a lot of the excess water out of your hair. Again, my locks are very spongy, so it's easy to squeeze out a lot of the extra water. And once you've done that, you're going to I use a microfiber towel. This one is in the form of a head wrap, but there's regular towels that's also microfiber towels. Microfiber towels are best because it soaks up water, a lot more water than a typical bath towel. So microfiber towel. This is a towel I actually used last night when I washed my hair. Again, this is from Peculiar Roots as well. They come free if you purchase a kit, or you can buy them separately. It's up to you, right? But you use a microfiber towel, it absorbs a lot of water, and keep towel on your head anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to help it absorb as much water as possible. I personally use two of them. I'll keep the first one on for about 25 to 30 minutes. I'll remove it, and then I'll put a second one on. That has my hair dry. My hair is mostly dry because I air dry my hair, so that's why I use two of them. So after using two of them, and then I let the elements of outside or just move around my house throughout the day, and my hair is dry within a couple of hours, fully dry from root to tip. So those are the steps that it takes, and make sure you properly dry your hair. If you haven't seen it, you'll understand when I say to properly dry your hair. We don't want lock rot. Okay? We don't want that. You know on that. Okay? And it's a typical mistake that occurs a lot. I had one comment on there where it said, "Oh, this is for nasty people." No, it's not. It's a very common mistake because not everybody is well versed or educated on how to properly wash and dry their hair. So it's not about being nasty. There's no need to try to shame people about things like that. That's why it's important to educate people. So make sure when you're washing your hair to rinse your hair thoroughly. Rinse all of the shampoo out. Rinse all of the conditioner out, because residue left behind from that also causes buildup. 2, it won't allow your hair to dry properly, and it can lead to other things. Like I said, buildup, lock rot. We don't want that. So be careful. Make sure you rinse your hair out thoroughly. Thanks again for joining me this week for another talk on Locs Talk. This specifically was talking about how to properly wash and rinse and dry your locks. So until next time, I will see you next week. Bye.